Two revolutions: how Copernicus and Kant reoriented the universe and the mind. The history of human thought is punctuated by rare seismic shifts that do not merely add to our knowledge, but permanently transform the framework through which we understand reality. Two such shifts are forever linked to the names Nicolaus Copernicus, 1473–1543, and Immanuel Kant, 1724–1804. Their stories, separated by centuries, form a profound intellectual diptych. The first revolution moved the Earth from the centre of the cosmos, and the second recentered human understanding itself. The Copernican Revolution, dethroning the Earth. For nearly 2 millennia, the Ptolemaic model, refined by Aristotle and sanctioned by the Church, held sway. It presented an intuitively obvious and philosophically satisfying universe. A stationary Earth sat at the centre, with the Moon, planets and stars embedded in perfect crystalline spheres rotating around it. This was a cosmos structured by hierarchy and purpose, with humanity's home at its literal and metaphysical core. Copernicus's seminal work, De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium, on the revolutions of the heavenly spheres, published in the year of his death, proposed a radical inversion. His heliocentric model placed the Sun at the centre and recast the Earth as just another planet, simultaneously spinning on its axis and revolving around the Sun. The observational data was the same, but the explanatory framework was utterly inverted. The impact was catastrophic to the medieval worldview. Copernicus did not just change a map. He initiated a cosmological decentering. Humanity was no longer at the physical centre of creation. This loss of centrality was initially perceived as a profound demotion, evoking anxiety and resistance. Yet, it was also the first great act of intellectual humility, a recognition that the testimony of our senses, the apparent motion of the Sun, could be fundamentally misleading. The revolution demanded that we trust reason and mathematics over mere appearance. It set the stage for the work of Kepler, Galileo, and Newton, ultimately giving us a universe governed by universal physical laws, not terrestrial privilege. The Kantian Revolution, centering the knowing mind. By the 18th century, the Newtonian universe was a triumph. Yet, it posed a deep philosophical crisis. Empiricists, like Hume, argued all knowledge comes from sensory experience, but this seemed to reduce the immutable laws of physics to mere habits of expectation. Rationalists, like Descartes, argued for innate ideas, but struggled to prove their connection to the external world. The very possibility of certain universal knowledge, like Newton's laws, was in doubt. Immanuel Kant, awakened from his dogmatic slumber by Hume's skepticism, proposed a solution so radical he proudly called it a Copernican revolution in thought. His insight was this: instead of assuming our knowledge must conform to objects, what if objects must conform to our faculties of knowledge? In his Critique of Pure Reason, 1781, Kant argued that the mind is not a passive blank slate, but an active organ that structures all experience. We are equipped with innate forms of intuition, space and time, and categories of the understanding, like causality and substance. We never experience the world as it is in itself, the noumenon. We only experience the world as it appears to us, the phenomenon, already processed through these mental frameworks. This was a revolution as profound as Copernicus's, but in the opposite direction. Copernicus moved the Earth away from the centre of the cosmos. Kant placed the human mind at the centre of the known universe. He argued that the laws we discover in nature, like causality, are reliable not because the world is inherently logical, but because our mind imposes logic upon it. The mind, in a sense, legislates for nature. This secured a foundation for scientific knowledge while simultaneously humbling us. we are forever locked within the architecture of our own perception, unable to know ultimate reality. The dual legacy, a new cosmology and a new self-understanding. Together, these two revolutions form the cornerstone of the modern intellectual landscape. 1. From a geocentric to a heliocentric universe, Copernicus. This taught us that we are not the spatial centre of all things. It was the birth of modern scientific objectivity, the courage to defy appearance in pursuit of a truth that transcends our parochial perspective. 2. From a mind-conforming world to a world-conforming mind, Kant. This taught us that we are, however, the epistemic centre of all that we can know. It was the birth of modern philosophy of mind and the recognition that reality is, for us, always a co-creation between the world and our cognitive apparatus. In essence, Copernicus displaced humanity from the centre of the cosmos, and Kant reinstated it at the centre of understanding. The first revealed a universe vastly larger and stranger than we imagined. The second revealed the human mind as more active and constitutive than we had dreamed. One turned us outward to an infinite stellar abyss. The other turned us inward to the equally profound and structured abyss of consciousness. Their paired legacy is our modern condition. We inhabit a vast impersonal universe, but we comprehend it through a mind whose own structures shape the very questions we ask and the answers we can find. We are humbled by our physical insignificance, yet empowered by our cognitive sovereignty, astronomers of the outer heavens and cartographers of the inner self.